America's Cup är en av världens mest prestigefyllda och anrika tävlingar alla kategorier. Där de bästa och mest meriterade seglarna ställs mot varandra i extrema flygande katamaraner som kommer upp i hastigheter på över 50 knop. Och nu gör Artemis Racing Sveriges största idrottssatsning någonsin med målet att lägga beslag på historiens äldsta idrottspokal, The Old Mug. Det är tidig vår i Saltsjöbaden utanför Stockholm. På båtvarvet är det som vanligt lugnt för säsongen. Men inne i en av hangarerna byggs i största hemlighet delar av det som ska bli Artemis Racings tävlingsbåt i America's Cup 2017.
We're here in Saltsjöbaden to build the hulls and the bows of the AC-50 for Artemis Racing because the America's Cup rules require that the challenging country need to build at least the bow portion of the boat, which is the bolt-on portion at the front of the boat, approximately 3 meters long in the country of origin. The boat is primarily constructed out of 150 gram and 300 gram uni fibres, and as far as the hulls are concerned, the shape is one design, meaning every team will have exactly the same shaped hull. There are a couple of changes within the rule that you are allowed to play with. So we covered a couple of things up when you were filming, but generally speaking, for the general spectator, you will think that they all look the same.
Att bygga en konkurrenskraftig America's Cup-båt är ett hantverk som kräver både tålamod och millimeterprecision. Och när varje del är klar så läggs de in i den gigantiska specialkonstruerade ugn som laget skeppat över från San Francisco till Saltsjöbaden.
It is actually an oven that we've modified from the previous America's Cup. The 72 footer was built in. It's 4 electric burners that are basically cooking the hull between 85 to 90 degrees Celsius. And when it's not an oven, it's a temperature controlled environment that the boys are working in laminating. So it goes from being air conditioned and humidity controlled to then when we want to cook, we turn the burners on and we start curing at between 85 and 90 degrees Celsius.
Artemis Racing har sedan tidigare byggt 2 prototypbåtar kallade Turbo 1 och Turbo 2 för att testa och utveckla innovationer. Men prototypbåtarna måste enligt reglerna vara minst 5 fot mindre än den 50-fotare som nu byggs i Saltsjöbaden. Och när idéer och tankar ska bli verklighet så finns det inte utrymme för misstag, vare sig när det gäller design eller konstruktion. För varje utmanare får bara lov att bygga en tävlingsbåt.
Everything's got to be very precise. There are lots of control measures that we put in place. The materials we're using are very temperature sensitive, humidity sensitive. If you do not take care when you're using these materials, you can have catastrophic failures. And when I say that, I mean that you will have a part that will be unusable. We've just got to make sure that it's built correctly to the plans specified and make sure that we don't make a mistake along the way.
Vill du segla hypersnabba katamaraner, representera Sverige och bo på paradisön Bermuda? Artemis Racing rekryterar just nu seglare till Red Bull Youth America's Cup som är en serie där talanger får chansen att visa upp sig och utvecklas. Så är du mellan 18 och 24 år, har svenskt pass och gillar segling, ja då kan du bli en av de utvalda att få flytta till Bermuda och bli en del av Artemis Racings namnkunniga America's Cup-team. Och så ska vi byta seglingsklass ett tag. Artemis Racings Nathan Outridge och Ian Jensen seglade hem silvret på Europamästerskapen i prestigefyllda 49ers-klassen. Vann gjorde Emirates Team Nya Zeelands Peter Burling och Blair Tuke, som därmed tog sin 25:e raka regattavinst i klassen. Men redan om några månader får Nathan Outridge och Ian Jensen chansen till revansch när OS-seglingarna avgörs i Rio de Janeiro. Artemis Racing har slutit ett sponsorsavtal med den amerikanska försäkringsjätten Argo Group som från och med Louis Vuitton America's Cup World Series i New York kommer att vara en del av det svenska laget. Argo Group blir en så kallad officiell partner och kommer bland annat att få sitt varumärke exponerat på båten och lagets kläder.
I think the sailing is a bit of escapism, just getting out there sailing. But for me, the real intensity comes when we're racing, going out there and getting better at something. And there's always room for improvement. There's always room to get better at whatever you do. And when you're not out there getting better, it's for me, it's very frustrating.
Paul Goodison vet vad det innebär att behöva kämpa för att nå sina mål. 2004 var han en av favoriterna i laser på OS i Aten. Men efter en miss i den sista seglingen blev han 4, 1 poäng från bronset. Men misslyckandet fick Paul Goodison att träna ännu hårdare för att bli ännu bättre. Och 4 år senare i Peking seglade han hem OS-guldet.
I think looking back at the Olympics in Beijing is, I guess it's just a bit of a proud moment, but it's more so of just a recognition that all the effort and all the things that we did in the campaign actually came together and it all worked. And I think it's more of a bigger achievement than just a single achievement. For me, the laser sailing was never really about the speed and the adrenaline. It's about the racing. There's kind of no other fleet in the world where you get 140, 150 boats at the World Championships all at a very high level racing on a short course. So you're never much further than maybe 10, 15 meters away from the nearest boat. So then moving over to the foiling stuff, it is a lot more exhilarating through the sheer speed you're achieving. But the racing, I guess the fine art of the tactics is very different from laser sailing. So they're both quite exhilarating, but in different ways.
Ja, omställningen från en enmans laserjolle till de flygande AC-katamaranerna är förstås enorm. Och för att hela tiden utveckla och bättre förstå de flygande båtarnas egenskaper så sker en hel del av träningen här på Bermuda i de mindre men foilande mått- och nakrajollarna.
The new generation of sailing is foiling, and to get out and do a lot of days in the turbos and in the 45F is kind of not very realistic because there's a lot of man hours involved in getting the boat ready, getting out on the water. But you can upskill so much faster in these little small boats. They're a lot more sensitive than the big boats, and it is foiling. So it's all very relevant to sailing the bigger boat. It's but they're kind of a lot more twitchy, and all the fine movements make a much bigger difference than they do in the big boat. So it translates quite well.
He's a very smooth sailor on the water. One of the things I've been impressed with is his steering technique, particularly upwind. Very smooth, very able to feel the boat's loading. I think from years of small boat sailing, he's got the reaction skills. And so he's becoming very much a polished helmsman in the America's Cup. I think with time he needs to learn the match racing side and the racing elements, which he will get the opportunity to here at Artemis. But at the moment he's I would say, an unpolished diamond.
It is all very new to me being in such a big team with such a diverse amount of goals. It was back in my Olympic campaign very much all quite self-driven about how you achieve your goals and going forward to that. But this is a much bigger team. It's quite hard initially to get your head round and it is sometimes quite tough to deal with. But at the end of the day, we are in this as a team and we all want to win the America's Cup.
I nästa program av Artemis Racing Road to Bermuda tar vi med till New York och årets andra deltävling av Louis Vuitton America's Cup World Series.